That's right. All right. Well, once again, we want to thank everybody for tuning in with us today. I know, Nikki, it's been the holidays It was the holiday season last time we spoke to everybody, right?
It was holiday season, and now it's back to work. Oh. And I just want to wish you a happy new year, all the listeners, and I wish you all the best for 2015. And I hope that you're keeping to your New Year's resolutions. How about you, Keith? Do you have any new resolutions that you're working on that you plan on keeping for the year?
You know what? I think my resolution is to try to continue, to try to go into the new year, go into this year's continuing kind of where I left off at the end of last year, for one. And then my second one, which I think is probably almost everybody's, is money management. Just to do better. Money
management is big, yes.
Yeah. And maybe to hit a charity or something. Maybe find a nice, good cause, something that helps the kids. And that's about it for me. What about you?
That's beautiful. Well, thank you for asking. I actually joined a gym New Year's Day. Mm. I found a gym not too far from me, and it's 24 hours, 7 days a week, so there's no excuse for me not to be there. It's always available, and the price was right. It was so incredibly reasonable, and all the equipment, brand new, the staff are friendly, so I found myself there New Year's Day, and I started this routine, and I am so happy for it. So I'm going to continue with an exercise routine, eating well, and just staying positive and finding and keeping positive people in my life. I think that's really important for me. This year it's about prioritizing relationships, and just like you said, money management, health, and just keeping that throughout the year. I mean, I feel I'm going to be traveling a lot more, so I'm going to add that into this year as well.
Okay. Now that's good. And you covered, that's pretty well rounded right there. You covered,
pretty thorough.
You covered a lot of angles, so that's all. That's good. It's freezing down here. You know what? I want to thank you all. You know what? We used to talk about this, and you used to be like, "Well, don't say nothing, Keith." And now now I got a bone to pick with you. Y'all sent all this cold weather down here to the U.S.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Now we can relate to each other. Did the snow come as well?
Nah, we didn't get. Look at this. See, okay. You tried to get me back, didn't you?
A little bit.
You know what? Nah, it's not snowing, but I tell you what, it's definitely got that look. It's got that look where it's like a tint. It's like a film. It's like a white snow film that's in the air. So, we might not get none, but I tell you what, it's cold, straight chilly. I know you know what it is already, but oh my goodness, it's real.
Okay, well, I know what Toronto cold is, but I'm not sure what North Carolina cold is to you. So is it above freezing that's cold, or like below that? Okay, now
luckily for me, I know the comparison. So I'm gonna say, you know what? Y'all still it's still a little colder there. It's still a little colder there, but we are running neck and neck right now. You know what I'm saying? Okay. It's not. Put it this way: it's as cold as your very cold days there without the wind chill factor, because the wind chill factor up there gets brutal.
Oh, it's no joke with the wind chill factor.
Right, and so we got it down here too, but it's it's not quite as bad, but it's right there. It's knocking closely though.
Okay. All right, so in the cold race, we're neck at neck. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I think I have a feeling we're going to be leading in the cold race.
I think so.
Probably by Friday we're going to beat you, because it is the temperatures are dropping every day. So.
Well, I will say that much though. I mean, as a matter of fact, it's supposed to be cold here tomorrow too. But but in favor of you guys, I will say, to stand behind you all, at least ours probably will go away around Saturday. So we do have that little bit, and you guys are kind of stuck with it, but down here it's going to warm back up. It's going to get, back up to the sunshine and the birds chirping. So.
Well, congratulations. Now we're stuck with this probably until May.
Yeah, that's right.
That's for real.
For all of y'all out there listening who do not know this is very true.
Yeah, you had a taste of it living in Toronto.
Yeah,
there's a lot going on in the news. Did you Did you hear about the Botox bandit, Keith?
No, I didn't. I heard some pretty mess up stories with it. Matter of fact, I'll bring up one after you, but you go ahead. I didn't hear about that. The bandit, what did he do?
Yeah, I was, going through my newspaper, and I this headline caught my eye, obviously. The Botox bandit. Someone in San Francisco went to a plastic surgeon, and he underwent $6,000 worth of work. So he had an anti-wrinkle treatment done, he got fillers put in, and he had some laser resurfacing done. And when he was finished, he walked out to the reception area and pretended to be on his cell phone and then slipped out the door without paying the bill.
Oh, man. I'm laughing because that's a classic one. I'm sorry, but that's a classic.
Classic, and apparently he's done this before. He is known. This is the second offense because they caught him on camera, obviously, and they put it up all over San Francisco looking for this Botox bandit, and someone recognized him as doing this previously, I think a few years ago. So I don't know.
Hey,
he is on
a roll.
He's out there.
You know what? I tell you, the twist to that, it sounds like if he gets any facial work done, it almost seems like if he gets it done at the right time, it almost seems like he could pull it off. I mean, imagine if he went in there and got some face work done and no one took a picture of him after the surgery and he managed to get away. They probably wouldn't even be able to know exactly what he looked like.
They couldn't even recognize him because he keeps restructuring his face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. That's something. They getting down in San Francisco, I tell you.
For sure. Okay, so what's your story? You heard mine.
Okay, now there is a young lady. A lot of people have probably seen this, but she had done lip injections, and her lip is phenomenally, like her top lip is huge. I mean, there's supposedly some implants where people can slice their lips open. They can cut them open from both sides and insert.
Ooh.
Yeah. And
they do that to themselves?
Yeah.
And pay for it?
Apparently it's some Gore-Tex material. And when I think of Gore-Tex, I think of shoes, right? So, but they can, so something went wrong. But the thing is, it didn't go wrong with the lip job itself. What happened is the anesthesia or whatever they did, it was supposed to help to either bring down the swelling or, just the after surgery medication. Whatever they did or injected apparently is where it went wrong. But I think where the problem lies here is that this was one of those ways that was supposed to be done so that people could save money. So I'm not sure. I have to hear more about it, but I'm not sure if there's even anything that can be done legally about it. You see what I'm saying? Because, she took the cheaper route of doing it. But there's a doctor in New York City, as a matter of fact, who has took on the mission of fixing this for her. So we're going to see how it turns out. But everybody out there listening, if you have not had chance, it's been on social media, but if they have not had chance, and you too, Nikki, to see this, you really need to see this. And this is no insult, but no pun intended with this. But just to give a description of what this young lady, and she was beautiful before she did it. They showed the pictures.
And now she's permanently...
Yeah, and I'm talking Donald Duck style here.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that's why I said, no pun intended. I'm not trying to be funny that, I'm not comparing her to a cartoon character, but just to give people who haven't seen it an idea of exactly how far out her lip has.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? Word to the wise, and that's a very good warning for us. If you're going to see a plastic surgeon, and the name of the surgery is called, Surgeons Are Us, or there's some discount associated with the name, then you probably, just run, because it probably sounds like a botched job that's going to happen.
Yeah.
No, that's terrible. And she has to wear this, she has to look like, the permanent duck face.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And hopefully this doctor in NYC can, go ahead and work this out for her and get things back to normal. But like you say, that should definitely be a lesson for when lips go wrong,
Oh my gosh, and that's no lip service. Yeah.
I don't know how you come up with. I don't know where you come up with this stuff from.
I don't know where I get this stuff, But I think we've got some throwback hits for
Yeah.
everybody. Yeah, let's tease them with some great music. We've got a lineup of some of the hottest R&B hits for you. So,
Yeah.
Keith, without further ado.
Absolutely, we will. Everybody stay tuned. You're tuned in to Throwback Thursdays with Nikki Clarke and myself, Keith Harris. Don't you go nowhere. We'll be right.
You're listening to Throwback Thursdays here on wearehotline.net. You're listening to Nikki Clarke and...
Keith Harris.
Right. That was an amazing set. Oh, my gosh. That took me back to, I don't want to say what year, Sherelle. Remember? She was everybody's jam. Everybody was listening to her, and oh, my gosh. That
was about the only time we was all saying all the days of the week, wasn't it?
Oh, wow. Yeah, that was a good time. Good time.
Yeah.
But I want everyone to, turn up their dial right now and listen to an incredible interview that we have lined up for you. This man has such an inspirational story. I've gotten to know him over the last few weeks, and he's becoming a wonderful friend. He's a mentor. He's a father. He is an incredible entrepreneur. I would like you to meet Demomd Coleman. Demomd, how you doing?
I'm doing phenomenal, Nikki. How are you today?
I'm great. I'm keeping warm.
I know that's
What's it like in Atlanta?
Well, it's supposed to be hot Atlanta, but it's cold Atlanta today.
Is it cold Atlanta? Oh, dear.
It is
All
30
right.
degrees.
Woo!
Well, Keith and I are having this cold race, and he's saying that in North Carolina we're like neck at neck in terms of the temperatures dipping. So are you somehow like close to us, or a little bit behind, or ahead of us with the temperature?
Well, he's 30. He's 30. If he's 30 degrees down there, then that's pretty cold for ATL.
He's definitely winning, though. Oh, my goodness.
Because I think 30, as a matter of fact, I believe 30, 30 degrees there is, what is that like? Because what is it now? Okay, we're on Celsius. You guys are Fahrenheit, I believe. So what are you guys, like 5 Fahrenheit, Nikki, up there? Or what is it?
All right, now you put me on the spot. I think it's like minus 12 or minus 13 Celsius here in Toronto.
Oh, yeah, y'all colder then.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Yeah,
so
y'all got
that's definitely below freezing.
Yes, indeed. All right, you got us. Yes. All right. Oh, yeah. Sorry,
it's such a pleasure to have you on the line. I know you're a very busy man, and thank you for taking some time to spend with us in your schedule. But we had a conversation not too long ago, and I really understand what a multifaceted person you are, and you've had challenges in your beginning, but where you are right now is phenomenal, and a lot of people want to follow in your footsteps. Can you take us back to your beginnings? You grew up in Ferguson.
Yeah,
right?
actually, yeah, that's absolutely correct. We originally lived in Kinloch, which was a smaller inner city right outside of Ferguson. You could cross the street and you were in Ferguson, and so we moved from Kinloch to Ferguson when I was 8 years old. And so I spent from the age of 8 to 13 in Ferguson.
Okay, and you live with your mom? She's a single mom.
Yes, I did. My single mom and my 7 siblings.
7. Oh, well, where do you place in the family? Are you the baby?
I was the third oldest of 8. I had an older brother and an older sister.
Okay. Wow, big family. Now, from what you told me, you grew up in the projects in Ferguson, so you must have seen a lot as a child. Can you tell me what you did to kind of cope and survive where you were?
Oh, absolutely. We stayed in the projects, the Boaz projects, when we lived in Kinloch. But when we moved from Kinloch, we moved to our 3-bedroom mansion in Ferguson with our 1-car garage. That was about, maybe 1,600 square feet total. And I say mansion because, we literally thought we were rich, when we moved into a home that had a yard, a garage, the stuff you saw on TV. But,
right.
hindsight now, we were very low middle class, income, but very grateful to have gotten out of Kinlock. And to answer your question, to cope, I mean, when you're a kid, most things are normal, for what you know. We thought it was normal to knock on doors and ask for food, between the 1st and the 15th. And we thought it was normal for, people to be drunk and fall out in the streets, or, chasing, the dope man up the street for crack. I mean, those things didn't seem abnormal until you start getting older. And, I started going to a school that was predominantly white. And so, you start to see the privileged kids and, lunch boxes, and Twinkies, the little small things that just, start to let you know that there's a separation. There's
a huge dichotomy in environment, definitely.
Right.
Yeah, and then when you were 15, you moved in with your dad, and he was a cleaned up crack addict at that point, right? He had cleaned up his act and started his life over.
Absolutely. I moved in with my dad when I was 13 for 1 year.
13.
We actually, the first year he got clean, my mom did actually get married. And, I had a very abusive stepfather of my mom as well as myself. And so we got into a bad fight when I was 13. And my dad hadn't been clean a year. And he was living in a home in the city of St. Louis on the north side. Pretty much no stove, no kitchen sink, no toweling on the floor. The walls were patched up were ready to be painted but never painted. I mean, mice, it was rough, and I didn't care. I was so happy to live with my dad. I mean, he'd always been a hero to me, crack addict and all, my dad was I just always had that natural affection for him. And he was a cool cat. My dad's 6'2", long Jerry curl, swinging left to the right when he walked.
Yeah, the back in the day player.
Back in the day player, right?
Word.
So, but stayed with my dad for a year. He got married, and then I moved back in with my mom for 1 year from 14 to 15, and then I moved in with my dad at the age of 15. So it's kind of a, transition there from, 13 to 15.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And what are some of the things that your dad taught you? He must have instilled some values in you, because your story right now is incredible, of success, material success, family success. There must have been things that your dad instilled in you as a child. So can you share what those were?
At that time, I didn't know what he was doing, but now looking back, I realized he instilled in me that you be responsible for your kids no matter what. And there were a bunch of times that my dad didn't show up to pick me up, after waiting for him for hours. But there was plenty of times I remember when he did. And those moments were priceless to me. No money, none of that stuff mattered. I literally used to go around with my dad when he would be chasing crack. My dad was like a functional crack addict, so he always had some kind of income coming in. And he had a two-door Cadillac. I can't remember what kind it is. I don't want a lot of you guys, but it was the long, big one. Matter of fact, it was four-door. I'm sorry, it's four-door, long, big one. And I remember sitting in that car. We'd be at junkyards. He's picking up some dope, or some friend's house. I'm sitting in the car. And that's how I got introduced to Sade. So one of the other things I picked up from my dad was how to listen to some good music.
Oh, man.
I had Sade in the car. I had the Osley Brothers. Back then we had a little Rick James in the car. I mean, Dad was just, he was, a great guy in my eyes. He taught me how to, be a gentleman. I used to see him open up doors, for, the lady he might be dating at the time. He just had a lot of charisma. Everybody loved my dad. Yeah. It was his personality, So I have to say I picked up a lot of that from my dad, and as the years progressed, he really started getting in my ear in terms of warning me of something. I mean, because my dad knew I started selling drugs at 15, so he never, tried to pretend he didn't know. He used to actually just try to tell me things to help me keep my butt out of jail.
Right.
Right. So, I learned a lot from my dad.
Right. So it seems like, it seems like regardless as to the fact that he did what he did, he seems like the type of man that still showed you love. You know what I mean? Like there was no, no intentional neglect or nothing like that. It's just one of them things where just life is what it is at that time. But he was schooling you, so you,
right.
Yeah, he was, really kind of showing you game and teaching you how to be smart at the same time. So.
Yeah, which is one of the reasons why I started talking to my children at a very young age. I have a 1-year-old baby girl, I have a 4-year-old son, I have a 17-year-old daughter, 18-year-old daughter, and a 19-year-old son. And I started being very transparent with them at a very young age about a lot of things. I didn't smoke weed in front of my kids or really drink a lot in front of them because I grew up seeing, my dad and other people do that stuff. I didn't, like my memories. I just didn't want to expose them too young to that kind of stuff. But as far as talking to them about the streets, drugs, sex, just all, whatever, I think they could encounter
right.
That could cause them some challenges, I was telling them at a young age. And, so that has been another, value. Like I said, that you're right, Keith, that I picked up from my dad just by him being so open with me. It allowed for me to be more honest with my kids and let them know what's up.
Word up.
Right. And they'll have so much more respect for you for being that transparent.
Yeah.
Now let's go from learning all these lessons, and then you're in your 20s now, and you're building a foundation, learning from the streets and from your father, and you're putting money aside now, and you're building a business. So you have a barbershop. Talk about what you're doing there with that.
Yeah, absolutely. I purchased a barbershop when I was 23 years old. I actually, you talk about all these children I have in the different ages. My first 3 teenagers, I had them at 19, 20, and 21. So their mom and I got married at 21, stopped selling dope at that time, went to school, got my cosmetology license. I'd already started teaching myself how to cut hair when I was like 15. I'm sorry, when I was 12. My dad got clean, 12, 13, bought me some clippers. So I became a self-taught barber. So, I was doing that and got my cosmetology license to get officially licensed and whatnot. And a good friend of mine, well, he's a good friend of mine now. At that time, he was kind of like another dad. Not the dad I never had, but just like another dad, for some of the things he taught me. But this gentleman here actually taught me how to flip home, how to do mortgage loans, how to flip properties, when I was like 20 years old. And so, after working with Mr. Wings for so long, he taught me about credit and how to flip houses. And, it just really changed my life. I was making over $50,000 transactions, at 23 years old.
Yeah.
And so, I was taking some of the money that I was getting from real estate, and I actually bought 2 salons. And so my biggest dream as a child, when I first started cutting hair, because my oldest brother's a barber, my mom is a hairstylist, was like, man, when I get my own shop, we didn't call it salons in St. Louis, we said shop.
Yeah.
So when I get my own shop, it's a wrap, guys. Money will never be a challenge. I'll have my own clients. I work there for free, and then I'll rent out my spaces and, pick up some money on a weekly and monthly basis there. And I did that. And, it was good, but it wasn't quite what I thought it was going to be. And, along with some, challenges I had at home and, just the disappointments of feeling like I really were hitting that pinnacle. Because, guys, I had expectations to be a multi-millionaire, from the age of 8, start thinking, right? And so I figured by 25, this thing should be out of the way. Money should be out of the way,
Right.
So, but yeah, so that was a great experience with the salons, but still wasn't enough, Nikki.
It wasn't enough.
So
what happened after that?
Yeah, so pretty much after that, like I said, having some challenges at home, my ex-wife and I, we were, back and forth, separated, and, a lot of the things that I stopped doing when I got married, I actually got on the streets for 3.5 years, started to, going back to comfort zone and having some resentment and anger, just a lot of things going on with me at that time. And I started making some poor choices, got back into the streets, ended up getting a connect from East St. Louis that, changed my life dramatically. I mean, when I met this guy, I really felt like, everything that I wanted. Because as a kid, I knew I was going to sell drugs at age 10 years old. I knew I was going to be a kingpin. I knew, all these things I knew in my mind that if I set out to do it, I would accomplish it. Right. And when I met this gentleman at the age of 24, he was 26 years old. He was about a year and a half older than me, and he was already a millionaire, like I knew I could be. We connected. We connected immediately, and I became his right hand. In less than a year's time, I'd sold my salons, got out of the business completely. I'm, selling drugs full time. But ultimately, this is what I really wanted to do. And it wasn't so much the selling of the drugs, guys, as much as it was living the lifestyle. Having the freedom and the choices, and being able to do supernatural things and finances for my kids and my mom and my dad, and I say supernatural because growing up, my theme song today was, I got it made, by special ed.
Right.
Not because I had it made as a kid, but I just dreamed, of being on that other side of money.
Yeah, and then when
you manifest. Go ahead.
Sorry, I was going to say, and then, you know what I'm saying? You know what, for a lot of people, and then just coming from where you come from, you know what I'm saying, and growing up like you grew up too, that there's, that fast money at the time, you know what I'm saying, that fast, look, a lot of people out there, man, that fast money will take you in.
Well, Keith, it was glamorized in my neighborhood. My friends were selling dope at the age of 13, having cars at the age of 13 and 14.
Right.
True story.
Right.
I got pictures of my friends, 13 and 14-year-olds, standing in front of their 4-door Cutlasses, their Regals, their 9.8s.
Yep. The old Saabs.
Cadillacs,
yep.
And so, and Norman, their parents, or their mom wasn't parents. I didn't grow up in a neighborhood with, 2-parent homes for the most part. So their mom, some of them endorsed it. They encouraged it.
Yeah.
My mom would say stuff like, I'm going to kill you. I'm going to break your neck. And I believed it.
The Throwback Thursdays with Keith Harris and Nikki Clarke. And we're on the line with Demomd Coleman telling us a wonderful story. We had to take a break right then. Cut into that Janet Jackson, go back to that throwback for you all. That was a hot one. Funny how time flies.
That was a hot one.
Right.
Oh my God, yeah.
Funny how time flies when you're having fun, as a matter of fact. And just getting back into the conversation, about how time flies when you're having fun, as a matter of fact. Demomd, you changed your lifestyle at that point from what you were going through, and talk to us a little bit about what began to happen after that, what you went on to, your success story.
Well, yeah, so pretty much, man, after going through some serious challenges with the law and taking a very undesired, all expense paid vacation, I had a very strong reality check. And, I started to look at things a lot differently in life, having a greater appreciation for the things that I could do, the things that I did have. And not necessarily losing the desire to want to be above average or well off, but I honestly, coming out of this situation, I really was saying I don't have to be rich anymore,
right.
And after, being home for maybe about a year, my mind started to change again. And I really started to think about the things that I dreamed of, owning commercial real estate and being a builder and, accomplishing, just some of the higher heights that I've been exposed to now over the years. And so didn't necessarily know how that was going to happen. And, being humbled and going back behind the chair, cutting hair, styling hair, and then, went from that to selling hair care products. I'm trying to figure this out. My wife and I, when we first got to Atlanta, we were, got remarried, and, we thought that, really that once she finished her residency program, because she was in school for pediatrics for, in a residency program for pediatrics. And, we really thought, once she finished her program and everything, and even throughout that process, that we would be able to start flipping houses again. And we got very close to closing on the deal. We were going to make close to $30,000 at closing. By now the market is starting to change. This is 2007. Things are going backwards. The loan stipulations, everything is changing. And we got 3 weeks before closing and found out the deal wasn't going to go through. So that was pretty devastating. because I'm seeing my way ahead. And as long as I could always see my way ahead, guys, I was okay. And not being able to see it, some of that old thinking started coming back. My mind started wandering. I met some great people, that was willing to, for the lack of, better words, do some other business with me,
right.
That I probably would have trusted. And had it not been for a homeless man that I met on the day that I was going to make a bad decision, guys, I probably would have went in that direction. So I looked at it more like God gave me a warning. At that time, I had been involved in network marketing for 3 months, Nikki. Didn't even know I was in a network marketing company, but I've been buying these girdles for a very low price from Mexico and then selling them at a very good profit, here in the States. That was an additional stream of income, so I'm feeling a little bit better about that. So I'm cutting and styling hair. I'm selling flat irons and blow dryers, and now I'm selling girdles. I'm like a Jamaican. I'm like you. I'm like you.
Oh, no, you only had 2 jobs. No,
right, exactly.
I have to interject here because I'm they're wondering, where did all this motivation come from? And how did you manifest this into your life? How did you manifest all this success? Did you, I've been doing a lot of research on the law of attraction, and it says whatever you can see, you pretty much can, and if you focus on it, in your mind, it'll come to you. Is that what you did? Did you plant out images, or did you have certain word patterns that you had that attracted these things into your life? What was it?
At that time, the principles that I know now about everything that you're saying, I didn't know that back then. But you're right. I've always been motivated by what I saw. And I saw my dad get off of drugs. I saw him, become the head supervisor at the post office and then start selling encyclopedias, and then he started selling artwork, and then he opened up his own real estate company after getting to the $1 Million Club. I mean, I'm seeing this, metamorphosis, if you would, of success from a man who, had dirt floors and no kitchen sink and no stove, and so that inspired me. Then I met Mr. Wings, who also was a multimillionaire, right? He was the first African-American millionaire that I met and knew personally. And so it was, other people, other examples of success that just let me believe that I can do it. And it's so funny you mentioned that, because now that I know better, like I'm parked right now in the wealthiest part of Georgia, okay, and that is Buckhead, Atlanta, and I'm sitting right here, right on the side of Saks Fifth Avenue. I got Nordstrom's right here. Across the street is Lenox Mall, and I am overlooking a skyline of some high-rises, high-end luxury office buildings. I see one building on its way up for construction. Right now, huge major development. I came and did this on purpose. So while having this interview with you guys, that I'm steady looking into my future, just honored to be on this call and seeing this as another level in my life. I didn't want to take this experience lightly. So I'm parked, in my car, looking a brand new development and all this money around me, because I still aspire to be a developer, buy, apartment complexes, build, high rises. I mean, these things are still heavy in my heart. So, pretty much, after, those 3 hustles that I had pretty much to take care of my family, I got introduced to network marketing, Nikki, and that's where my life changed forever. That was in 2008.
So fast forward. Go ahead, Keith.
No, go ahead, Nikki.
No, I was going to say, so fast forward to where you are now with the network marketing. You're involved in an incredible opportunity that just launched in November in America, and I am so happy to be part of that team. Can you talk about that?
Absolutely. Fast forward through network marketing, I got introduced to it in 2008, made over $250,000 my very first year in the industry that I knew nothing about. And guys, all I can say is my income didn't go backwards, for an entire 5 years. Wow. It was incredible. And so fast forwarding to where I am now, I hit the top of 2 companies. They actually featured me in Success from Home magazine, guys, which was an honor. That was like a dream, it didn't seem real. all the way to getting started with this company here this past November, Jeunesse Global, Nikki, and it has been incredible just within the last 30 days. I've specialized in getting involved with these type of opportunities in the beginning, at the ground level, before it reaches market saturation, because that's where the money is. And so having something now, that offers instant gratification, that's in the beauty industry, which is $1 trillion industry, that's highly affordable for the average person. I believe this is the biggest opportunity I've had so far. So
it surely is. Yes.
Very grateful.
No.
Can we talk about Instantly Ageless? And this was introduced to me by the amazing Maren Joseph, who is a mutual friend and involved as a business partner. She contacted me not too long ago and told me about this incredible cream that transforms your skin in 2 minutes. So you can look 10 years younger in 2 minutes. And I thought, man, really? And then when I saw it in front of my eyes, demonstrated, and how it changed, I was sold right away. And this is really, it's like a magical cream. They're calling it the liquid crack. It's incredible.
Yeah, it's so incredible. I just went to drop a box off to a boutique owner, and I'd never been in that area. And how about I saw a lady across basically right across the street. It's not really a street the way it's set up, but just right across the way. We'll say that. And this young lady has also made millions of dollars in network marketing, and now she has her own boutique, and she's on the show called Married to Medicine. Are you guys familiar with that show?
Yeah. As a matter of fact.
Yes, I am.
Okay, so her name is Lisa Nicole. Okay, and basically, I'd never met her, always wanted to meet her, and I see the name, of her boutique as a clothing boutique. I see the name, so I walk into the boutique, and she's actually in there. She's getting this makeup on, and you got all these producers around, and I actually knew her makeup artist because she's worked with us on set for some different projects we've done, and it was just incredible. And so she's getting her makeup applied. Okay, get this, guys. And she puts it on, and within 2 minutes, there were because she's filming, so she's probably tired. She's got some baggy eyes and everything, and so she puts it on. Everybody goes nuts. Okay, and this was just today. So you talk about liquid crack, or what they call Botox in a bottle. I've never seen anything like it before.
Oh wow!
I've never seen anything like it. It really, Keith, it's phenomenal.
You know what? That right there, like you say, with that type of look, everybody. Now let me ask you a question: this is for the fellas out there listening, okay? Because I know it's a beauty product, the women, obviously, but you got a lot of guys out there too who want to step out the house and attract some of the ladies. Can this work for men too?
Oh, 100%.
Absolutely.
Oh man. Oh wow.
Yes, indeed. And I would say you probably almost have equal who are purchasing this. Men and women. Men. Everybody wants to look as young as possible for as long as possible.
Right. Oh man. So that right there. And so you were look. I can see where that would have became a huge success for you. Just right off the bat. And this is something. How long did you say you've been dealing with this particular product now, or this particular business?
It's close to 45 days.
Wow.
Getting started.
Oh wow. I was looking forward to it.
And then how far does your satellite reach? You have international networking going on. So you have satellites in Canada. You have them in the United Kingdom. And then where else? I think in Nigeria as well?
Oh, absolutely. Just within the last 45 days, we've been able to get into 8 countries, and the company's actually open. And thank you. The company is open in 108 countries worldwide. But so far, this particular organization, including you, Nikki, you're up in Toronto, Canada. And I'm very honored to be working with you and Maren Joseph. Someone I always wanted to work with, does some phenomenal things in the industry. Can't wait to get up there in a couple of weeks with you guys and be on the live Nikki Clarke show. That's going to be fun. We get to do some live demonstrations, right?
Oh, it's going to be huge. And I put out the banner for the show, like I was saying to Keith, and you have a growing female fan base already. So they're people really like anticipating your arrival for the show January 27th at 8 o'clock. So please, you got to come out and support, and definitely you'll get the demonstration. You'll be able to leave a little bit of the product, and you'll see how how not only your face will transform, but your life, because you're going to feel better because you look better.
You know, I can. You know what? To cut in, guys, I can see that segment happening already, and I already know what's going to happen. I hear the screams, I hear the oohs, the ahs, and the oh my gods, and I see it.
The fainting.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I definitely see that, man. So now, okay, no, all right, now, because y'all got to feel. Look, now, don't leave me out. Now, when then you're talking about satellites here. Okay, so this product you guys are involved with is able to be. I mean, you're able to market this in all these other different countries and stuff, right?
Absolutely, man. You know, being involved in this industry for the last 6 years, I realized that the biggest income earners, you know, in the world of network marketing, they have a global business, at least an international business.
Yeah.
And so for us to be global, it most definitely gives us an advantage.
Yeah, absolutely. Because there are places, you know, and being able to connect like that, because, you know, you hit the nail on the head. A lot of times products do not, or it's harder. Let me say it's hard, or people don't take the opportunity to reach out into that global market. And don't get me wrong, international is a great market, but sometimes people and businesses do not realize just how interested in other countries that people are. And you're lucky when you're coming from America already, because so many other countries are watching America. We're a focal point.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Right. Absolutely.
So
yeah, you're right, man.
Point.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and you know, I just being in business myself, I noticed that the same way. But so you guys are going to boom. And I tell you what, when people start transforming in a matter of minutes, we were just talking about this earlier on the show, you know, with just some of the epic fails that are happening. I mean, you know, with the surgeries and how much it's costing, this is going to be amazing. It's going to be huge. I know, as a matter of fact, I hope and I know a lot of them are all the Hollywood people out there, a lot of the people that are in the film industry, and, you know, a lot of people that listen to the shows, you know, take it in, you know.
Take it in, definitely. And I think, Keith, we need to set up a satellite in North Carolina, right where you are.
Hey, look, and shoot it. Look, and you know where we're going to shoot it to. We're going to shoot it right all the way over there to the red carpet places and everywhere like that. And, you know, let them get started with it. Yeah, absolutely. We'll talk about that later on. That could definitely work.
Okay. Well, you know, I don't know. It's been such a pleasure listening to you, Demomd. You have an incredible story. And I don't know if anyone ever planted this seed in your mind, but I think you should actually write a book. I think this is going to be a #1 seller. I'm kind of a visionary, and I see things for people, and this is definitely one of those that will change people's lives from your story. So thank you for being so open and sharing your pearls of wisdom. And I know that I've learned a lot in just a short period of time, and I look forward to learning even more with you as a mentor.
Thank you so much, Nikki. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, and it's so funny you say that about writing a book, because my book is under my bed.
Oh, wow.
Actually, I wrote it last year, and I have not published it yet, but it has been edited, and the only thing that needs to be done is the format in print and then major distribution. But I put my book on hold. You know, I have my hands on a category creator in terms of an opportunity, and my book it's more personal to me. I didn't really write my book to make money, though I'm looking forward to it being a bestseller. But, you know, that was more personal. My first love, guys, is business. Mm-hmm. You know, that's my first love. And I'm not saying that my book is not business. I'm just saying my brain right now and my memory is telling me, Demomd, you've made a small fortune in this industry, and now it's your time to make a huge fortune. So focus on the fortune, and the book will sell itself. If you launch the book now,
it surely
you
will.
have to sell the book. But if you go out and get the results, then people will, beat the door down for the book. And that's how my book is going to go bestseller, Nikki, by, being another example, showing someone else, that it doesn't matter where you come from. It doesn't matter your background. It doesn't matter your mistakes in life, who didn't tell you they loved you, right? Who didn't congratulate you, who didn't teach you. It doesn't matter about any of that. If you got a big enough goal, you got a big enough dream, you got the courage to actually get out there and put just one foot in front of the other, then you can accomplish your dreams and goals. And so just going out there and helping some more people, accomplish their dreams and goals. Like I said, my book is going to be a natural progression of that. So I appreciate you sowing that seed into me, Nikki. I receive it. Looking forward to coming back on the Nikki Clarke Show and talking about the book when it's launched. But thank you so much for believing in me, and most definitely looking forward to working with you.
Oh, this is so exciting. I'm really looking forward to this journey. And Demomd, how can people find you if they want to reach out to have a personal connection, or if they want to buy a product, or even get involved as one of your satellites internationally?
Awesome. Well, you can find me on Facebook. The correct spelling of my name is Demond, and the last name Coleman, Coleman. Okay, and as far as the opportunity and the product is concerned, guys, I'd love for you to support Nikki Clarke. She and I working very closely together with another superstar, Maren Joseph. But Nikki is phenomenal as well. I'll be up in Toronto for about a week, as a matter of fact, working with Nikki as we lead up to the Nikki Clarke Show. But, launching this project and showcasing this all over Canada. And so it'd be awesome if you guys could also reach out to Nikki Clarke. And you can find Nikki Clarke, obviously, everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
But most definitely on her Facebook and Instagram, Nikkiclarke. I'm sorry, Clar. Yeah, Ke. Is that right?
Yep.
That's perfect. You got it right.
Oh, okay. Awesome. Okay, I got it right. Okay, great. Yeah, and we love to work with you, wherever you are, whatever city or state or country, whatever planet. I think we'll be on multiple planets here in a minute, right?
Hey, they need that. Look, they need facial work up there too.
Oh yeah.
It'll all connect. Now we're at that time now, Keith. Are you gonna get ready?
Oh yeah, I'm ready.
Where we're gonna play your throwback favorite, and you made a reference to it earlier when you were describing your journey, and it was a favorite of mine too. Now this brings me back to the basement we had in our home. We had a soundproof basement. My parents are very smart to keep 3 noisy children in the basement. No noise. They could be upstairs reading their books and watching TV. And we played this song, and I remember watching my brothers with these high top fades and these medallions with the African continent, trying to do the kid and play dance to "Got It Made" by Special Ed.
Oh yeah.
Yes, indeed. Thank you so much for playing that. I remember when I was staying with my dad, for everything he did not have in that house, he had cable television, and we used to watch. My oldest brother, one of my older brothers, we used to watch Rap City, and I was about 13, thought I could dance and everything, and so just watching this video, it made me dream. And it might be kind of comical, but back then it was another one of those pieces that just made me want to have more. So thank you so much for playing my old jam.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you're welcome. Now that brings it back for me too. Thank you for bringing it up. Definitely.
And me. Yep. That was definitely a classic. You know what, Demomd, we want to before we get out of here, we want to say kudos to all your success. And kudos, as a matter of fact, to your success and Nikki's soon found success as well, on top of all her other successful ventures. I see this as being a wonderful, wonderful platform, and it's going to, get even larger than it already is. And hey, just so you know, like I say, we'll talk, and somewhere down the line, I'll jump on the team too and love to support you guys, and it's going to be wonderful. And you enjoy Toronto, I know you will, Demomd.
Yes, indeed.
Have you?
Below and all.
Right. Have you been there already once before?
And I love Toronto. It's one of my favorite cities I've ever visited.
So that's 2 of us. There you go. You already know. All right, brother.
Okay, and I'm going to find myself in Atlanta very soon.
Okay, We're looking forward to having you, and thanks again for having me, guys. Really appreciate the time.
All right.
You're welcome. Thank you.
We'll be talking. You all been listening to Throwback Thursdays with Nikki Clarke and myself, Keith Harris, and a wonderful special guest today, Demomd Coleman, doing big things. Be sure you go check him out. Find him on the social media websites. Find Nikki Clarke, and she'll, direct you guys on what to do for the product. This cream, you don't want to miss it. Anything happening in 2 minutes, you need to know about it. All right, we're going to get into Special Ed, requested by my man, Demomd Coleman, right here on Throwback Thursdays with Keith Harris and Nikki Clarke. Y'all don't go nowhere. We will be right back.
Got it made. That's right.